The Creation of All, Chapter 7, Part 2. You guys ready to free everyone? I shout, trying to get them excited to fight for their freedom. See, Kuiga, I've already inspired these ones to act. She just rolls her eyes. What are your commands now, great liberator? Kuiga asks, killing the enthusiasm. It's still the same. We have to defeat Bapon. We can't get anyone out of here with him here. Uh-huh. But you're not going to be able to get anyone out of here because the Bodos aren't going to stand around and watch all the slaves from their slave city wander out into the wilderness. Kuiga brings up a good point. That Wadahog guy covered for me before, but I doubt he'll be able to cover for this. Give me a moment to think. There has to be a way to solve every problem. I don't like believing in hopelessness. It's bad for your personality and outlook on life. I give it thought for a few minutes, and then it dawns on me. That thing Moato said about the ark these slaves are building. Maybe they can use that to get out of here. Maybe if it's big enough. Yeah, we need to see it. Itzy, can you take us to where this ark is? Itzy nods and leads us. The 4 slaves follow along, but the others I saved are still just sitting on their knees with those barrels still pointed at the backs of their heads. They have no sign of emotion in their eyes. You can't help them, Kuiga says, seeing me stopping to stare at these people. It's amazing you got 5 of them to follow you. Slaves are taught every day that they have no value. Their spirits are broken. Even if you carry these ones out of here, they won't know or want to do anything. Kuiga says, and I still can't accept it. But before I can try to help them, Bapon needs to be dealt with. If he can really teleport, then he could show up at any moment. We follow Itzy for a while until we come through a giant set of doors. Once through them, we come to a massive open room with a giant white airship with gold trim on it. Wow, this thing's massive! I shout, and all the slaves who must still be putting the finishing touches on it don't react to me shouting at all. But someone does. What is that? Who's shouting down there? I look up to see Bapon looking down from over the railing of the deck. What is this? I put you 3 in the basement closet. How dare you let yourselves out? Have you at least learned some appreciation for me? Seriously? Appreciation for what? I shout back at this guy. Bapon jumps over the edge of the railing and falls 40 feet, landing on his feet in front of us, shaking the floor. I really can't believe you just said that. I am Bapon, the first of the lost gods to return to guide the mortals towards better futures. I don't think I'll be guiding you, since I'm not sure what you are. We just stopped one of your goons from killing a bunch of these people. What kind of god just uses then kills the innocent? I shout back at him. These are branch breeds. Surely you know they do not live like people. They are not treated like people, and they have been conditioned to not think of themselves as people. When I said mortals, I meant only the pure breeds, as branches are even less than them. They're disposable lives that don't matter. You're no god. You're just some arrogant psycho. Look, these 5 stood up to fight for their freedom and have followed me. I shouted, pointing to Itzy and the others. Follow you? They follow you? Bapon starts saying as if he's devastated in shock. I'm the only one here who should have any kind of followers. Ofiru, kill this monstrosity. Bapon shouts and I can hear someone running towards us. I look to my right and see the door burst open. And that twin Kuiga got into a fight with burst through the door. What is he saying? Before he can finish saying it, Bapon rushes over and starts smacking him in the back of the head. I keep telling you not to talk where I can hear you. You know I can't stand your voice. I can't even understand you. Now kill that gray thing. Ofiru looks to me with a stern look and starts to slowly walk towards me. I need to relax and calm down after all this blasphemy. Kill those slaves too, and the Teshin. After that, Bapon emits a small flash of yellow light from his eye and vanishes before the light recedes. Ofiru says, and I don't understand it, but he starts his attack. And he has real skills, almost as good as Bodaka's, if not maybe better. I need to summon my strength to overpower this guy. Ofiru punches me in the face, kicks me in the gut, and then grabs my arm, throwing me over his shoulder. My back is slammed against the metal floor, and I'm left dumbfounded by how swift his moves are. They have a much more elegance to them than Bodaka's or Miga's. The way he moves his limbs, it makes me think he's going to strike from the left, but instead the attack comes from the right. I can't predict his moves, no wonder I can't focus, and Kuiga had so much trouble against him. Ovidu thrusts his claws down at my face, but I grab his arm and hold him back, but I'm struggling with him. Just then, 3 of the slaves flatten their limbs and wrap them around Ofidu's right arm, left leg, tail, and the 4th one flattens the top half of their entire body, wrapping it around Ofidu's torso. They're all pulling him off me. Itzy flattens her arms and wraps them around Ofidu's face and neck, pulling him back. They did it! Ofidu is restrained and can't move. But now what? While I wonder that, Kuiga runs up and stabs him in the chest with the claws on her right hand. Ofidu lets out a scream of pain before going limp. Itzy and the others let him go, and he collapses onto the floor. Did you kill him? I was trying to. Seeing twins fills me with rage. Any twin reminds me of Raiga. My mind goes blank and I just act. Can you please try not to kill people from now on? Not if they're a twin, no. We'll work on that, but for now we need to find where Bapon went and make sure he can't stop you all from getting out of here. Just then, Ofidu jumps to his feet and quickly staggers away, running through a different door, leaving a trail of blood. He's going to get help! After him! I shout, and they all follow me as we give chase. We run up several flights of stairs, following the blood as we go, and I'm surprised how fast he can move after Kuiga stabbed him in the heart. Do criminals have hearts in the same place as humans? We soon burst out of a side door of the giant church-like building. We're back outside, and Ofidu's blood trail leads us straight to his brother Derafu. I can tell because the links on his chain are different. His horn is on the other side of his forehead. And of course he doesn't have a gaping wound in his chest. How in the world did you all land such a blow on Ofidu? Very concerning. The real thing I want to know is how you people are doing this without anyone stopping you. I shout at him, as I've been wondering about that since the beginning. Darafu just points behind us, and I glance back before turning around in absolute horror. Everything is fine. This month's order will be delivered on time. It's a mob of criminals who are walking all wobbly, and I can smell the decay of their bodies from here. One of them walks right up to me, and I shove them down. They hit the ground, and hundreds of mouse-sized, fuzzy, 6-legged bugs scurry out of the mouth. Those are Nipsies. I trained them myself to puppet the corpses of the staff that we killed upon our arrival. Through video communications, we've kept everyone on the outside fooled. Until now. Who would have thought such a strange duo would invade a slave city of all places? We all work to shove these meat puppets to the ground, and the Nipsies all scatter from inside them. It's all so gross and creepy. We're here to save... I stopped when I noticed Itzy and the other slaves scattering and running away. In case you're wondering, they're running away from another one of my pets. It's only a few feet away from you. Derafu says, and I look around but don't see or hear anything. It's going to attack you very soon, if you don't move. Derafu says, but there's nothing here. If I put this guy down quickly, we can move on to Bapon. I take a step forward, but something is in front of me. I can feel it, but not see anything. All of a sudden, a giant dark red armor-plated hand with 2 fingers and 2 thumbs appears out of thin air, grabbing my head. Ah! Kuiga screams as if she's realized something and runs away. The floating hand lifts me off my feet. These fingers are a foot long. I can't pry my head free. Out of nowhere, a giant head appears. It's long, sort of like a horse head, covered with the same dark red plates as the fingers are. It has 5 black eyes, and its mouth opens up, showing it has 3 sets of mandibles filled with sharp little teeth or bumps on the inside of them. It lets out a high-pitched scream that turns into a bellowing roar before it moves to shove my head into its mouth. It moves its fingers as it tries to eat me. I put a foot on its face and push. I'm able to slip free. I fall to the ground and scramble away. I get to my feet and start running in the same direction Kuiga did. What was that thing? It was terrifying. I see Kuiga waving out the window of one of the workshops. I rush to her and jump right through the window, slamming right into her. So, how was your first Barbarock encounter? Kuiga asks as she shoves me off her. Is that what that was? I mean, what is it? A floating hand and head? I've only heard about them once. When I was hanging outside the wall of an official city, I heard a PSA about Barbarocks. They're one of 5 natural predators of Crividals. You guys have natural predators? I shout, amazed that such an advanced species hasn't wiped out such threats. Yes, we do. Kuiga seems upset that I interrupted her. Barbarock's exoskeletons are so strong that even Citan's lasers aren't very good at hurting them for some unknown reason. Their habitat is supposed to be on the other side of the planet, only in the Borophor nation. But what is it? Just a hand and a head? No, Barbarocks have a whole body. They just hide it by covering themselves with a matter we can't feel or detect in any way. It floats through the air, and the Barbarocks have the ability to grab them out of the air and wrap it around themselves. It's called Rhea. Oh, that's creative. Shut up. They move silently and unseen until they're right up next to you, and they always bite off the face or the back of the skull to kill their prey instantly. So how does this Rhea work? Kuiga looks around and picks up a thin rectangular piece of metal off the floor. Imagine this is Rhea. Kuiga then curves the piece of metal until the two ends touch. It looks the same on the front and back. Kuiga then sticks the tip of her tail up so that it's in the middle of the curved metal. Even though my tail is here, all you can see is the metal. Now imagine this metal is invisible, so that what you see is what's behind my tail. That's how Rhea works. That doesn't make any sense. Well, if your dumb human brain doesn't get it, what do you want from me? Well, how about what these things are vulnerable to, or scared of? Nothing. As soon as Kuiga says that, the wall behind us is torn down. We jump to our feet and start to run. Can it follow our scent? I shout, wondering how it found us. You two are talking loudly. You aren't even trying to whisper, Darafu says, following close behind the Barbarock. Any ideas? Kuiga shouts at me, and I don't really have one. I then hear the sound of metal banging against metal, and I look over to see Itzy striking a metal pipe against the metal door of another workshop. Yeah, I hope she has one. We run into the small one-room building. Inside we see a giant engine. It reminds me of the ones I saw on that orange ship back at Turgrum. It's twice the size of my body. It's an old airship engine. Kuiga says that Itzy pushes it so that it faces the door. Itzy then grabs 2 boxes of metal shavings. I guess this is just the waste from the work they do in here. There is a giant machine that looks like it shapes metal on the right end of this room. Itzy then motions that we should throw the shavings forward. I get it. Cover the monster with this, and then she'll heat and melt them on it with that engine. She's clever for being a slave her whole life. We see Darafu step up a few feet away. That means the Barbarock is close. We throw the shavings, but they fall to the ground. There's nothing in front of him. Where is it? Kuiga shrieks, becoming hysteric. The ceiling caves in, and we find ourselves trapped under the rubble with the Barbarock on top of us. It's grabbed both mine and Kuiga's heads. I see a third hand has grabbed Itzy's face. I can just barely see her out the corner of my eye since I can't move my head. I start struggling and flailing, trying to get free. Itzy reaches back with her tail and flicks a switch, causing a mechanical arm, similar to the one that hit me, to swing out into position, hitting the Barbarock's hand and freeing her. She runs to the large machine on the right side of the room and puts a tool inside it before turning it on. The machine launches the tool at a high speed, and the metal tool hits the Barbarock. It bounces off the creature, but that did seem to hurt it. It lets out a roar of pain. Stop! We hear Darafu shout, Let them go. Come here, Gushi. The Barbarock lets us go and walks towards Darafu. You named it Gushi? I ask, seeing that those other slaves who ran and a few more came back. They flattened their arms and have caught Darafu with them. 2 of the slaves are pulling back on Darafu's neck, threatening to strangle him. How is this happening? You're slaves. This is the only life you know. Why would you even want anything else? There's nothing you can have that won't be taken from you. Darafu shot to the slaves. How can you know that? I asked Darafu, walking up to him. These slaves are going to take that ship they made and find a place of their own. The Master's Ark, he'll never allow that. That's why I'm not going to let him have a choice, I say, ready to lead these slaves back to where the ship was so they can take it. What was that? I turn around to see Bapon turning over the corner of the workshop we were in. Darafu, something just blew through my chambers, destroying them. I come out here and see this gray thing still alive, after I ordered Ofiru to kill it. Where is he? Where is Mowado? What are you doing with the slaves? It's an uprising, my lord. The great creature has turned some of the slaves against us with nonsensical promises of freedom, Darafu says while Itzy is choking him. Bah! Freedom? For slaves? Such a silly, fanciful thought, something only a being daft in the head would concoct. Bapon then ends his sentence with a chuckle. Instantly his face turns to one of rage and swings a staff at me. I manage to duck under it. You dare reject my punishment? Bapon says as if he really thought I was going to take that hit. It's no fantasy. It can happen. Itzy and her people built that giant ship, so who knows what else they can achieve. You can think these people are inferior to you all you want, but their lives have just as much value as yours. They deserve a chance. I shout to him, and my words seem to have enraged him more. You dare claim my life has just as much value as these mongrels? Darafu, must I do everything? Bapan shouts at Darafu before shining a huge flash of yellow light at him. Once the light recedes, the slaves that were holding him have vanished. What did you do with them? I shout at Bapan, worried about where he sent them. I sent them back to my ark. I was just there and saw that the ones who are still working need more help to get the flooring in my cabin installed. Once they move the furniture in place, the holy arrival will be ready for its maiden voyage. You, however, will be dead by then, since you lack the ability to learn respect. I'm a little concerned as to where he could send me, but I'm not going to walk away from this. That ship is going to be used by the slaves to find a home. We're here to make sure that happens. Not only that, I don't think you're a god at all. Good thing I don't need strange creatures like you. Need me? For what? I have goals, ambitions, plans, and I'm not going to tell people about them since that'll make it easy for them to get in my way. Bapan unleashes a huge flash of yellow light, and when it recedes, I find myself in a strange tunnel. It's 50 feet long, and I can see the sky out the end in front of me, and the ground out the end behind me. This tunnel looks like it's made by taking 4 strips of ground and sticking them together. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get out of this without falling, Kuiga says, and that's when I see her standing on the ceiling. This power I have allows me to move anything to anywhere I want, Bapan says as he steps into the tunnel from outside like he was walking on it upside down. Standing at the edge, he starts to dance like he did on the stage, only now without music. He then stops, and Kuiga screams. I turn to see her running as Gushi's hands are after her. Kuiga! I shout to her as all she can do is run around and hope for the best. I try to jump to her, but gravity is pulling me back down, while gravity for her keeps her up there. I'm struck in the side of the head by Bapan's staff, but I stick my claws in the dirt of the wall to keep from falling. I've done this to demonstrate my power to you. It's important you know how great I am before I kill you. How are you great? You use slave labor, then kill them when they're done. I already told you that they're not real people, and you need to learn how bombastic and fantastic I am. The only thing fantastic about you is that you weren't actually born with it, were you? I was chosen to have this power, Bapan quickly says, and I think he let that slip. Chosen? By who? Who chooses a god? Shouldn't you be choosing? There are things mortals shouldn't know, Bapan says while gritting his teeth. My attention is then drawn back to Kuiga, who is screaming and jumping and bouncing off the walls. I can't see the hands anymore, but it must still be there, and constantly moving is all she can do to hopefully avoid it. A hand appears and grabs her. Kuiga flails her arms and legs and manages to hurt Gushi. Its arm starts to bleed, a dark blue blood, which starts spewing like a fountain. Was that the spot Itzy hit with the tool? The Barbadoc's blood is a much darker blue than the Crividal's. Gushi lets go of its Rhea and starts gripping its wound, trying to stop the bleeding, as it shrieks in pain. I can see this thing has 6 insect-like legs and 6 arms. It does look like it's some giant bug or crustacean. Kuiga jumps on its back and wraps her arm around its neck. Is she trying to saw its head off? Bapan kicks me down while my head was turned. That's right, on your knees is where you all belong while in my presence. If you still can't see my greatness, I'll give you a death with plenty of time to realize it. With another flash of yellow light, I find myself up in the sky. I'm falling several hundred feet. I recognize some of the rides and other buildings. I'm above a Wacho. Something's changed. The slave city looks like a big metal circle. Moved some of the main factory to create a landing point for you. I look back to see Bapan falling just above me. Judging by his smile, he's looking forward to what's about to happen. You'll hit that surface and your body will turn into mush, spreading out and coating it. I always find it fun to see it happen. Don't worry, I'll be with you for most of the fall, in case you have any last words for me. I look back at the giant metal circle and I can see some dots moving. If you land on your Teshan companion and break her body, that'll be amazing to see. That's Kuiga down there? I can sort of make her out now. I need to come a way out of the situation. My body has been able to recover after any damage I've taken so far, but can it come back after being completely obliterated? I don't want to find out. There's nothing here I can use. Come on, out with it. There's still some time for you to apologize to me, Bapan says, jabbing that sore spot in the back of my head with the tip of his staff, and that's when it hits me. I reach back, grabbing the staff, and use it to pull myself closer to Bapon. What are you doing? Lesser beings cannot touch my staff. Let go! He shouts, but it's too late now. I swing my leg at him, kicking his gross eye right in the pupil. What have you done? Bapon shouts as his eye closes. My power! I can't use it! I reach up and grab Bapon's robe and pull myself up to him. I grab onto that metal rack that his curtains hang from and get onto his back. What are you doing? You're the only thing here to help break my fall. I'm the god here. You should be breaking mine. Bapon shouts, and now the two of us start struggling, spinning around in the air, trying not to be the one on the bottom. We keep spinning before striking the metal circle near the edge. Thankfully, I wasn't on the bottom. Bapon's body is surprisingly tough. I mean, I felt a lot of things inside him break on impact, but his body is still in one piece. I, however, was thrown off the circle and fell 90 feet to the ground, landing on my back. It seems we knocked something loose when we hit that circle, because now it's coming apart. After it all falls on me, some time passes, and it's Kuiga who pulls the bits of debris off me. You alive? She asks, and I just give her a thumbs up. I still hurt all over. She reaches down, grabbing my hand, and pulls me to my feet. How'd you find me? I ask her, and she just points, and a few feet away is Bapon, moaning loudly on the ground. If I heard this much, then I don't want to imagine how he's feeling. Ophidu says as he just found Bapon. Ophidu has his chest wound bandaged. Remind me to hit you later for talking. Bapon wheezes out. He's clearly too hurt and weak to move. Ophidu shouts, and Moado shows up. Oh, there you are, master. Oh, you're hurt. What happened here? Where were you, Moado? Bapon groans. Ophidu shouts, pointing to Moado. Moado, hit Ophidu for me. Moado smacks Ophidu in the back of the head. Sorry, my lord. I was doing that research you wanted me to do. You remember, from last week? Ophidu continues to shout at Moado, but Darafu pulls up in a craft smaller than Bodaka's. I can see Gushi holding onto the roof. Quick, get in! The Bodos are coming! Darafu shouts, and I can hear Kuiga's breathing getting heavy. The two followers pick up their master and put him inside the craft. Wait, my ark, the holy arrival. We can't leave it, Bapon moans. I'm sorry, master. There's no time, and you're too hurt. We need to get you some help while we can, Darafu says, and the lot of them drive off into the distance. You great thing! I will find you, and I will make you pay for this! I hear Bapon shouts as they drive away. No time to care about him now. Where's Itzy? Where are all the slaves? I ask, looking around as no one is here, and that giant factory building with its impressive architecture is completely ruined. We then hear and see the Bodos arriving on their hover bikes. What happened here? One of them shouts, overlooking the area. Vayne, what's going on here? It's Wadaha, though he doesn't seem as friendly as before. It was really strange. These people snuck in here and took the place over, and I was trying to... Before I can finish talking, we can hear a loud sound. The sound of doors opening, I think. That's when we see it. The Ark, the Holy Arrival, is raising into the air. On it, I can see the slaves. The one on the deck is waving at me with a big smile as she got her mask off. Is that Itzy? I can see her breed marks are a thick line that curve in the center of her cheeks. Go! Get out of here! Go now! I shout to them, happy to see them gaining their freedom. That's when the Ark rockets forward and smashes through a skyscraper, causing the whole building to collapse. We're all just silent for a few moments. I can see the ship is still flying, so they're okay at least. Vayne, did you have something to do with... Before Wadaha can finish his question, Kiruki drives his craft through here. Guda and Tarate are holding onto the roof, shooting at the Bodos to get them to move. As they drive by, Bodaka leans out the door, grabbing me, and Miga grabs Kuiga. Sorry we're late, we wanted to see a show, Bodaka says. And then some idiot sent a detached engine crashing into the theater, so we didn't get to see the end, Guda says as she and Tarate drop back down into the craft through the open sunroofs. Seems like you two had a more interesting time than us. What happened? Miga asks, curious to know. I'm still a bit too devastated to answer. A whole lot of people must have just died. That happened because of me. Some bozo saying to be the reincarnated Bapon of the 15 Lost Gods took control of the place to make himself a fancy airship. We did stuff, and then things fell apart. Kuiga quickly answers for me. The Lost 15 Gods. That's the religion Satan banned centuries ago, and then created their own that they force on everyone. Hongoro is the council member in charge of religion. If he knew one of the 15 gods returned, he'd freak out and run for the hills. Tadate explains, and I'm curious about why Satan would ban this religion, but I can't help but think if I'm a mass murderer now. No time to think about that now. We need to get going to the comeback contest. It's starting in just a couple days. Kuki, let's get going, Bodaka shouts and Miga cheers with Tadate. Bodaka, they're closing the gates. Kuki shouts and I can see the doors ahead are closing. No risk, no reward. Bodaka shouts and Kuki drives through, getting the craft scraped pretty bad on both sides. Alright, people, once we win this contest, the Doriano Revolution will have the money needed to get off the ground, and then we can decide which plan to move forward with. What plans are these? Kuiga asks, and it's interesting that she wants to know. There'll be time to talk about them later, Bodaka says, but I'm still thinking about what I just did and if Bapon is really going to come after me. Chapter 7 End.